It was a typical Monday morning in the year 2053 when the news broke that would change the course of human history forever. The United Nations had announced that after decades of tense diplomatic efforts and clandestine negotiations, humanity had finally been invited to join the Galactic Union. The Galactic Union, a loose alliance of various civilizations from across the cosmos, had been at war for centuries. The conflict, known as the Great Interstellar War, had ravaged countless worlds and sparked widespread devastation throughout the galaxy. But despite its long history, the war still raged on with no end in sight. The revelation sent shockwaves throughout Earth's population. Governments, corporations, and individuals alike scrambled to comprehend the implications of this monumental development. The United Nations held an emergency meeting, where representatives from every country converged to discuss the terms of humanity's entry into the war. As the world watched, a massive fleet of ships from various alien powers arrived in Earth's orbit. They were accompanied by ambassadors from each nation, all of whom wore ornate attire and carried strange, glowing tokens that seemed to pulse with energy. The lead ambassador, an imposing being with skin like dark marble and eyes that burned with an inner fire, stepped forward to address the gathering. He introduced himself as Ambassador Kralian of the Ceridian Empire, one of the most powerful nations in the galaxy. "We come not as conquerors," Ambassador Kralian declared, his voice echoing through the chambers. "We come as friends and allies, offering humanity a chance to join our noble cause against the scourge of the Zorvathian Empire." The Zorvathians, notorious for their brutal tactics and insatiable hunger for power, had long been the primary antagonist in the Great Interstellar War. They had clashed with countless civilizations, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. As the ambassadors continued to speak, humanity learned that they were being offered a unique opportunity: join the war effort on the side of the Galactic Union and receive advanced technology, strategic support, and access to untold resources in exchange for their participation. The alternative was clear: remain neutral and risk facing the full fury of the Zorvathian Empire alone. With this weighty decision before them, humanity held its collective breath as it weighed the pros and cons of joining the war. Some advocated for neutrality, fearing that involvement would lead to catastrophic consequences. Others argued that unity and cooperation were essential for survival in a universe fraught with danger. As tensions rose within human society, something remarkable happened. Nations, corporations, and individuals from all walks of life came together in unprecedented solidarity. Governments laid aside their differences, international borders blurred, and global conflicts ceased as the shared goal of joining the war became the sole focus. On that fateful day, humanity collectively decided to join the fray. A grand alliance was forged, with Earth's nations pledging themselves to the cause alongside other members of the Galactic Union. Ambassador Kralian returned to address humanity once more, this time as their new ally in the war effort. "We welcome you, dear humans," he said, his eyes gleaming with a mixture of gratitude and determination. "Together, we shall bring an end to the Zorvathian Empire's reign of terror and usher in a new era of peace and cooperation throughout the galaxy." The universe held its breath as humanity embarked on this momentous journey. Their participation sent shockwaves through the cosmos, with the implications still being debated among the various alien powers. Some speculated that humanity's involvement would prove to be a game-changer, while others predicted it would lead to disaster. Whatever the outcome, one thing was certain: nothing would ever be the same in the galaxy again. As Earth's fleet set off towards their first battlefront, the universe watched with bated breath as human civilization prepared to take its place alongside the other great powers of the galaxy. The course of history had been forever altered, and the future looked brighter than anyone could have imagined, but also far more uncertain. With a newfound sense of purpose, humanity steeled itself for what lay ahead: battles fought in distant star systems, unlikely alliances forged with alien nations, and a quest to carve out its place among the stars. The war had just become a whole lot more interesting, and humanity was ready to take on whatever challenges the universe threw their way. The galaxy trembled as human ships hurtled into the fray, bearing the emblem of Earth's brave warriors and the hope that they would bring peace and unity to a conflict-ridden cosmos. As stars were born and worlds collided in the battles ahead, one truth became clear: humanity had finally arrived on the intergalactic stage, ready to take its rightful place among the powers that shaped the universe. The Great Interstellar War was about to receive an injection of fresh blood, and it would never be the same again. As Earth's fleet sailed into the heart of the war-torn galaxy, they were met with a mixture of curiosity and trepidation by their new allies. The Ceridian Empire, led by Ambassador Kralian, had been instrumental in convincing humanity to join the conflict against the Zorvathian Empire. The first major battle took place in the outer rim of the Andromeda Galaxy, where a Zorvathian armada was wreaking havoc on a coalition of Ceridian and human ships. The skies were ablaze with laser fire as both sides clashed in a maelstrom of chaos. Humanity's contribution to the war effort began with a bang, literally. A team of Earth's top scientists, led by Dr. Sophia Patel, had been working tirelessly to perfect a revolutionary new technology known as the quantum disruptor. This device had the potential to destabilize an enemy ship's quantum core, rendering it powerless and vulnerable to attack. As the battle raged on, a human fleet commander, Captain Rachel Jenkins, was given the green light to deploy the quantum disruptor for the first time. With a nod from Dr. Patel, who stood anxiously by her side, Captain Jenkins ordered the device's activation. A blinding flash of energy erupted as the quantum disruptor fired, sending shockwaves throughout the battlefield. Zorvathian ships began to stumble and falter, their quantum cores wavering under the assault. The human fleet took advantage of the chaos, pressing forward with a series of coordinated attacks that sent the enemy reeling. Ambassador Kralian watched from his flagship as humanity's first major victory unfolded before him. His eyes shone with pride as he turned to his Ceridian colleagues. "The humans have proven themselves worthy allies," he declared. "Their bravery and ingenuity in battle will be a valuable addition to our war effort." As the dust settled on the battlefield, both sides assessed their losses. The Zorvathians had suffered heavy casualties, while the coalition of human and Ceridian ships had emerged victorious. Back on Earth, the people rejoiced at the news of their first major victory in the war. Cheers erupted as governments announced plans to deploy more troops to support the coalition effort. However, not everyone was pleased with humanity's sudden involvement in the conflict. A shadowy organization, known only as the Architects, had been secretly manipulating events from behind the scenes. They saw the Great Interstellar War as an opportunity for their own nefarious purposes and were determined to sabotage humanity's efforts. On a distant world, deep within the heart of the Zorvathian Empire, the Architects' leader, a mysterious figure known only as the Archon, watched the events unfolding with growing unease. Their plan had been set in motion, but it seemed that humanity was proving to be more formidable an ally than anticipated. "The humans have adapted too quickly," the Archon whispered to his closest lieutenants. "We must find a way to disrupt their advantage and turn the tide of this war back in our favor." As the galaxy trembled with the aftershocks of the battle, the Architects began to weave a web of deceit and intrigue that would threaten the very foundations of humanity's newfound place among the stars. The Great Interstellar War had just become even more complex and treacherous. As the war raged on, humanity continued to prove themselves as formidable allies in the battle against the Zorvathian Empire. The quantum disruptor technology proved to be a game changer, allowing human ships to take down enemy vessels with ease. However, the Architects saw an opportunity to exploit this newfound advantage and began to secretly manipulate events from behind the scenes. They seeded discord among the coalition's ranks, sowing doubts about humanity's true intentions in the war. Rumors began to spread that humanity was using the quantum disruptor for their own nefarious purposes, fueling tensions between the Ceridian Empire and Earth's government. The once strong alliance started to fray as trust began to erode. Ambassador Kralian sensed the growing unease and called an emergency meeting with his human counterparts to address the issue. Dr. Sophia Patel stood alongside Captain Rachel Jenkins, both adamant that humanity had no ulterior motives in joining the war. "We're fighting for our very survival," Dr. Patel emphasized. "The Zorvathians threaten all life in the galaxy, and we're doing everything in our power to stop them." Kralian listened intently, his expression a mixture of understanding and concern. He proposed an investigation into the Architects' activities, hinting that their meddling might be the root cause of the growing tension. "We must uncover the truth behind these whispers," he said. "If we can expose the hand of the Architects, perhaps we can restore trust among our allies." The coalition agreed to launch a joint inquiry, with human and Ceridian investigators working together to track down evidence. Their search led them to a mysterious planet on the edge of the galaxy, where rumors hinted at the Architects' involvement. Upon arrival, the team discovered a hidden underground complex teeming with advanced technology and guarded by an elite squad of genetically engineered warriors. The leaders of this faction were revealed to be none other than high-ranking members of Earth's own government officials who had secretly pledged allegiance to the Architects. As the coalition investigators confronted these rogue elements, they uncovered evidence of a shocking conspiracy that reached all the way to the heart of humanity's leadership. The revelation sparked chaos on both sides of the war. Coalition forces were thrown into disarray as trust between allies plummeted. Kralian issued an ultimatum. The Ceridian Empire would recess their alliance with Earth unless immediate action was taken against the Architects and their human agents. In a desperate bid to salvage the situation, Dr. Tell called upon her closest colleagues, including Captain Jenkins and a small group of trusted allies, Together, they devised a daring plan to infiltrate the architects' stronghold and bring an end to this treacherous game. The fate of humanity's place among the stars hung in the balance as these brave individuals embarked on their perilous mission. Would they succeed in exposing the architects and restoring trust within the coalition? Or would their efforts be met with devastating consequences? In a galaxy torn apart by war, one thing was certain: nothing could be taken for granted anymore. The team of investigators, led by Dr. Patel and Captain Jenkins, infiltrated the architects' stronghold on the edge of the galaxy. They navigated through labyrinthine corridors, avoiding deadly traps and genetically engineered guardians. Their mission was to reach the heart of the complex, a massive chamber housing the central hub of the architects' operations. There, they hoped to gather irrefutable evidence of the organization's manipulations and expose their sinister plans. As they delved deeper into the stronghold, they encountered numerous obstacles. Some were physical, like the acid, sharp spikes that threatened to cut them down, while others were more cerebral. The architects had implanted subtle mind control algorithms to prevent unauthorized access. The team utilized Dr. Patel's advanced neural interfaces to bypass these mental barriers and unlock restricted areas. Captain Jenkins employed her combat training to take out any living obstacles, all the while keeping a watchful eye on their surroundings. Their journey finally led them to the central hub, where they encountered the mastermind behind the architects' plans, a figure known only as the Archon. This enigmatic leader revealed himself to be none other than Dr. Elliot Thompson, once a renowned scientist and close friend of Dr. Tel's father. Dr. Thompson explained that he had stumbled upon an ancient technology capable of manipulating reality itself. This, as Nexus energy, was the true source of the architects' power, allowing them to manipulate events across galaxies. "You see, Sophia," Dr. Thompson said, his eyes gleaming with a twisted sense of purpose, "the war between humans and Zorvathians is merely a sideshow. We have far greater ambitions. We aim to reshape the very fabric of space-time itself." The team listened in horror as the Archon revealed that the architects had infiltrated countless planets, seeding Nexus energy nodes across the galaxy. These hidden hubs would soon allow them to warp reality on an unprecedented scale. With this new knowledge, Dr. Tell and her team realized the enormity of their task. They needed to act swiftly to prevent the architects from unleashing this catastrophic power upon the universe. The investigators fought bravely to contain the Nexus energy, but their actions inadvertently triggered a self-sustaining feedback loop. As they struggled to escape, the stronghold began to destabilize, threatening to unleash its dark energies across the galaxy. "We have to get out of here," Captain Jenkins shouted above the rising chaos. "We can't let them control this technology." Dr. Petal nodded, her mind racing with an idea. She activated a device that disrupted the architect's neural connections, momentarily freeing herself and the rest of the team from their mental shackles. Together, they made a desperate dash for the exit, fighting against hordes of genetically engineered warriors as they went. As they broke through to the surface, the stronghold imploded behind them, a cataclysmic event that would forever change the balance of power in the galaxy. The battle-scared team stood amidst the smoldering ruins, their faces set with determination. They knew that this was only the beginning of a new era, one where humanity and its allies must join forces to face the looming threat of the architect's reality-altering technology. "Where do we go from here?" Captain Jenkins asked, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. Dr. Patel's eyes narrowed as she surveyed the devastation before them. "We find a way to stop this Nexus energy," she declared, "no matter what it takes." The team's words were cut short by a sudden transmission from an unknown source. The message was garbled, but Dr. Tell's advanced neural interfaces allowed her to decipher the cryptic warning. "Beware the Ceridian Empire's true intentions. The architect's demise is only the beginning of a far greater threat." Dr. Tell's eyes locked onto Captain Jenkins, and she knew that their world had just been turned upside down once again. "What do you make of this?" Dr. Patel asked, her voice laced with concern. Captain Jenkins frowned, her brow furrowed in thought. "Sounds like a warning from an ally or perhaps a rival. But who could be behind it?" But the pair exchanged a skeptical look, but the mysterious message had piqued their interest. They decided to investigate further, aware that the stakes were higher than ever. Their journey led them to a hidden Ceridian research facility on a remote planet. There, they encountered an enigmatic figure known only as Astra. This brilliant scientist revealed herself to be working secretly against the architect's plans, but also had secrets of her own. "Astra," Captain Jenkins asked, "what do you know about the message we received?" Astra's eyes sparkled with a knowing glint. "I'm afraid it was from me, or rather, my predecessors. You see, we've been monitoring the architect's activities for some time now, and I believe they're not the only ones manipulating events." "Archon." Patel leaned in, her curiosity piqued. "Go on." Astra's expression turned somber. There are those among us who have come to understand that the war between humans and Zorvathians is a mere distraction from an even greater threat, the rise of an ancient power, one that will reshape the galaxy in its image. The team listened in stunned silence as Astra revealed her shocking theory. The Ceridian Empire's leaders are not what they seem. They're pawns in a far larger game, one orchestrated by beings who have mastered the secrets of time and space itself. And as Astra spoke, the room seemed to fade into darkness, and Dr. Paddle felt herself being pulled back through the threads of time. "What do you mean?" Captain Jenkins asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Dr. Paddle's eyes snapped back into focus as she remembered the words of an ancient prophecy. The Devourers come in shadows. Their power is not to be told. They shall consume all that exists and remake the galaxy in their mold. The team exchanged uneasy glances, aware that they were staring into the abyss. "What can we do?" Dr. Paddle asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Astra's eyes locked onto theirs, filled with an unspoken determination. "We must find a way to stop the Devourers before it's too late." The fate of humanity and the galaxy hung in the balance as this new threat emerged from the shadows, one that would require all their strength, courage, and ingenuity to overcome. What secrets lay hidden about the Devourers? And how could Dr. Patel and her team possibly hope to defeat an enemy who had mastered the very fabric of time and space? The journey ahead was shrouded in darkness, but one thing was certain: only those brave enough to face the unknown would survive this era of reckoning. "What will you do next?" Dr. Patel's mind reeled as she tried to process Astra's words. The Devourers, an ancient power that had mastered time and space itself. It sounded like a myth, a legend born from the darkest corners of intergalactic history. But Astra's expression was dead serious, her eyes burning with a conviction that sent shivers down Dr. Paddle's spine. "We need to get back to our people," Captain Jenkins said, breaking the silence. "We can't let this information fall into the wrong hands." Astra nodded in agreement. "I'll help you transmit the message. But we must be careful. The Architect's demise has already set off a chain reaction throughout the galaxy. If the Devourers are indeed awakened, it will take only one misstep for them to gain control." Dr. Toddle's thoughts were racing ahead. She knew that their world was about to change in ways she couldn't even imagine. As they prepared to leave, Astra handed Dr. Tell a small data crystal containing the Ceridian research on the Devourers. "Be careful," Astra said. "This information is not for the faint of heart." Patel's eyes locked onto the crystal as she took it from Astra. She felt a shiver run down her spine, sensing that this was only the beginning of an epic struggle to save humanity and the galaxy. Their journey back to their own planet was fraught with danger. They navigated through asteroid fields, avoiding Imperial patrols and pirate ships while trying to stay one step ahead of the Architect's agents. Finally, they arrived at a secret Ceridian base on the outskirts of human territory. Dr. Patel's team briefed the Council of Elders on Astra's revelations, presenting the data crystal as evidence. The room fell silent as the counselors digested the information. They knew that this revelation would change everything, and not just for humanity. Estrella, the leader of the council, stood tall. "We must act swiftly," she declared. "If the Devourers are indeed awakened, we'll need to mobilize our forces across the galaxy." Captain Jenkins nodded in agreement. "We can't let them get a foothold. We have to take the fight to them before they destroy everything in their path." The room erupted into a cacophony of debate and discussion as the leaders struggled to come up with a plan. Dr. Patel, however, knew that she had a different role to play. She couldn't just sit back and watch as the galaxy descended into chaos. "What about me?" she asked Estrella, her voice barely above a whisper. Estrella's eyes met hers, filled with a deep understanding. "You'll be leading the research team," she said. "We need your expertise to unravel the secrets of the Devourers and find a way to stop them." Dr. Patel felt a surge of excitement mixed with trepidation. She knew that this was just the beginning, a journey into the unknown, one that would take her and humanity to the very limits of existence. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance as Dr. Patel stepped forward, ready to face whatever lay ahead. But little did she know, the Devourers were already coming for her. As Dr. Patel accepted her new role, a sense of unease settled over the Council of Elders. They knew that their decision would change the course of history, and not just for humanity. "We must be cautious," Estrella warned. "The Devourers are said to be different. Their power is unlike anything we've ever seen." Dr. Paddle's eyes locked onto Estralla's, her mind racing with questions. What did Devourers want? And what was their true purpose? Astra, the mysterious Ceridian scientist who had revealed the truth about the Devourers, joined Dr. Paddle on her research team. Together they pored over ancient texts and analyzed data from various sources. The more they learned, the more unsettling it became. The Devourers were not just an ancient power, they were a collective consciousness, a vast network of beings that had transcended time and space itself. Their ultimate goal was shrouded in mystery, but one thing was clear: They sought to reshape the galaxy in their image. As Dr. Patel delved deeper to her research, she began to experience strange visions, glimpses of the Devourer's true nature and purpose. She saw a universe born from nothingness, where stars and galaxies coalesced into being under the Devourer's guidance. She witnessed the birth of civilizations, their growth and decline intricately tied to the Devourer's whims. But amidst this tapestry of creation, Patel detected a subtle thread, one that hinted at a far more sinister purpose behind the Devourer's actions. "What's happening?" she asked Astra, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm seeing visions. Glimpses of the past and future." Astra's expression turned grim. "You're experiencing the echoes," she said. "The Devourer's influence is seeping into your mind, revealing secrets that lie beyond human comprehension." Dr. Patel felt a shiver run down her spine as Astra's words echoed in her mind. "We must find a way to stop them," Dr. Patel declared, her determination burning bright. "We can't let the Devourers reshape the galaxy according to their twisted design." Estrella nodded in agreement, but a hint of doubt flickered across her face. "The Devourers are not what we think they are," Estrella said, her voice low and ominous. "There's more to their story, and it may change everything." As the stakes grew higher, Dr. Patel found herself questioning everything she thought she knew about the Devourers. Were they truly a malevolent force, or was there something more complex at play? The truth lay hidden in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. But as Dr. Patel delved deeper into her research, she began to realize that the lines between friend and foe were becoming increasingly blurred. Would she find an ally among the Devourer's own ranks, or would their true intentions prove more sinister than she could ever have imagined? The fate of humanity hung in the balance as Dr. Patel stepped forward, ready to face whatever lay ahead.